Christianity with the greatest Christian mystics. Ah, Christianity, very wonderful. Christians are responsible for the world. Jews are responsible for the world. She says, great Shinto teacher, I don't understand. If it's so wonderful to be Jews, why are you a Shinto priest? He says, ha ha ha, because I don't want to be responsible for the whole world. You Jews are responsible for the whole world. He started laughing. I'm not responsible for the whole world. He rolled off his pillow, rolling on the floor, laughing at me. You Jews are responsible. I'm not responsible.
I think Rabbi Z's going to use that in the future.
There's much more to this story because it was a much greater experience. But that piece of it. Yes.
I have a question.
Two part question a long time ago.
You can answer the first one short. It might seem like a long one. You can answer it long one. What's the whole point?
That's a real short answer there.
Well, no, you don't have to get the whole.
What's the follow-up question?
Based on that answer, why does it matter so much on how you get to that final point? Like, it seems like we have a lot of rules and they make us get to a certain point. Why does it matter? Why is there so many rules how to get there? And shouldn't there be more varieties to a lot of different ways? And isn't the end goal more important?
The question is a relevant question because we all struggle with the terms religion. Are we religious people? Though the word almost doesn't exist within Hebrew. The closer we get is the word dat, which is translated into religion. But it really just means the path that we follow. Because the word Torah means the Torah to show, to teach a path. So we don't really talk about the Torah. We don't find the discussion of religion. We discover the path. It's walking my laws. Walk, moving is what we understand the Torah asks from us. To move in the direction of closeness, completeness. So, in that sense, we say that every single neshama that comes into the world has its own unique path. We have a source, and we have the guides to how each one of us find it. Each one of us will find something different. Each one of us will find something that's unique to ourselves. So, if you're going to try and pray like me, feel like that, you may do the wrong choice. If I try and imitate you, wrong choice. Because the only person we have any business imitating is ourselves. And then we have to be honest about ourselves. So, the discussion of religion, as it is religions of the world, is probably one of the greatest sources of wars and human conflict. But the path to completeness, the path to wholeness, that can only bring us into completeness, not conflict. Because your piece and my piece joined together to make more completeness. And your piece and our pieces together, we can all join together to make them all a little bit more whole. So, then there's no need for conflict. There's nothing that you have that I should need other than with the pieces that make each other complete. So if we're like pieces of a puzzle, well, one piece of a puzzle can't compete with another piece of a puzzle. It doesn't make it whole. But you can't switch pieces. All together, those beautiful puzzles. Those beautiful pictures. Yes.
How do you explain that, or maybe the reason why God would take a certain life at a certain young age?
Because that soul reached its completeness. Because how many days of life a soul needs to achieve completeness is relative to the journey of that neshama. So it could be that neshama needed only 1 or 2 days of life left before they achieve completeness. And that's a very complete soul. It's a gift of a soul being brought into this world that is so complete that it doesn't need any other choices than a few breaths of life. The difficulty is for the parents, that child, 2 days, 2 years, 12 years, 20 years, how to deal with the fact that they love and care for this child, and what it does to them and how it changes them. And in that sense, when we talk about, using the term proudly, grief counseling within the Torah perspective, we acknowledge that there have to be special parents to be given such a special soul.
What about like a 50-year-old who dies from cancer, who has 4 kids at home and a husband?
And that person and that soul achieved its purpose, and now everybody around those family of children have a purpose to help them.
Have a purpose to help who?
The children, the wife and the children, because there's something else that needs to be completed, which is compassion. And when we see somebody who's sick or somebody who's suffering, it's our obligation to help them.
So it's
How does that happen unless somebody needs it?
So it's 100% that if the person passed away early, let's say from cancer or whatnot, at the age of 50 or younger, their soul has completed its mission.
Yes.
So are they going to? So they're not going to reincarnate?
Probably not. The suffering itself is the total.
Was the
Katikun, was the completion. So suffering, pain is not bad. It's just painful.
So what if somebody lives a long life but they die of a disease? So it's kind of everybody, not everybody, but essentially a lot of people in their old age die of a disease. And what's a full life that you know they're going to be guaranteed to come back? Like if someone dies at age 100, then they lived a full life, but they still need to come back because they didn't die early. You know what I mean?
And like why do you
It's
say
like
up to 120?
Well,
But why do we always wish that?
Well,
That's what I'm saying, you know?
it's only because if we didn't find that this life was valuable and we have something to accomplish in this world, we wouldn't want to stay here. So we're not shown what the completeness looks like of our neshama after it leaves our body. We only can see this far, so that we should make the effort to keep it completed. So we learn from our elderly. That's one of the mitzvahs in the Torah. To honor the elderly, because that's where wisdom lies. And if we didn't have wise elderly people, we would be young and foolish people, because we did not have those to learn from. So the elderly have a purpose, young have the purpose. Every neshama has its purpose.
So my question is about mitzvot, like in general. So when you see someone who lives like on the derech and whatever, they're living like a very rich Jewish life. Then there's others who perhaps do some mitzvahs but not all other mitzvahs. So, I mean, the question is, I guess for us, like none of us are, some of us are, like we all sort of hold differently. So the idea, I guess, is like, what's this idea of like mixing mitzvahs? You know, you do certain things but you don't do other things. Can you speak to that?